Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Ron Doyle on Maryland's Eastern Shore. It is March the 8th of 2022. I'm going to give you all a quick video on how to install a Broan 678 model exhaust fan light combo. This is in a new construction setting. If you're doing this in an old work setting, installation it's going to be a little bit different, but this is new construction. It's going to be the tips and tricks on speeding up your install time, and this is a segment on things electricians do. This is one of them. So stay tuned for the install. We're going to go ahead and do a quick unboxing of it. What I like to do, this particular house has 3 of these. As I open the boxes up, take the grills out, take the light lens out, and locate the acorn nut. This is the light shield with the pigtail, plug-in pigtail. This is your 4-inch exhaust discharge. It has a flapper to keep wind from blowing back in it, from going into your house. What I do is I take the discharge and exhaust fan, and I put the trim out stuff in a separate box. That's at a later date. That's going to be part 2 of this video. But basically, putting this stuff in storage until we need it. And the way that these exhaust fans go together, it's pretty straightforward. But there are some tips and tricks that will help your install time. Now, while we're outside, I'm going to show you how this actually connects. This is your screw flange or nail flange. This is your discharge port. This flapper has to be oriented to gravity, so this flapper naturally falls down. So this is actually in the horizontal position. Insert it on the bottom. Make sure all your flanges are on the inside, and you'll hear it lock in. And you want to install this after you get it screwed to your ceiling joist. But there is a way to remove this if you accidentally snap it on. Push your finger right here on the sheet metal, the top and the side, push in, and that'll come off. So stay tuned, take you upstairs, and we're going to install the one in the master bathroom, show you how to do it. Alright, we're up in the master's bathroom, 2nd floor in this residential home, and first thing I like to do is find the center of the room or the center of the toilet, and I try to put this exhaust fan light combo in adjacent to the master shower, so that it's drawing steam. And if they do a dark shower curtain going across the shower, the light is as close as possible to the top edge of the shower curtain, so they can get some light reflecting on the white walls, the white fiberglass walls inside the shower. I've got the room marked off at 75, which is the center of the toilet flange, which is directly below you. And what I like to do is take this and set it up on the ladder. So we got our nail flanges down, and I'll pull center. I'll take a magic marker, find a center of 8.5, which is 4 1/4, and going to mark a line 4 1/4 on the inside of the exhaust fan as such. Now, if you look at this flange side, there is these little mushroom, these half moon tabs that can be pushed out, and there are some on the adjacent side. These are actually to stop it against the ceiling joint, so you get the proper height for hang down for your sheetrock. So what I do is put your finger in there, push them down until they're bent out 90 on both of those, such as so. You can see them hanging down, and that is your offset for your 1/2-inch sheetrock right there. And these tabs get bent out after the sheetrock is installed. So I'm going to get you set up here so you can see what's going on. You see the black marks. Now, we are discharging the exhaust that way, so I want this in relation to go that way. If I put it over here, we have a straight shot for discharge, and if I put it over here to get discharged that way, I would actually have to do a 180-degree turn. We don't really want a 180-degree turn, so I'm I'm going to reorient myself, turn myself around, and we'll get this installed. What we're going to be using today is Tex sharp point lab screws. They're 1 inch long. They got a pretty aggressive thread, and the nice thing about them is they have a real wide head to grab that oversized hole and suck it up tight. Let me turn around. And we got our center mark. And what I'm going to do, because I'm doing this by myself, is put the screw between my fingers so I can get it set on the gun. Make sure our line is centered up. Take out a hole and get a screw in there. There's only one screw right now that's holding that. I trust the screws. We've been putting these up for years. Let's see, better angle on that. That exhaust fan looks prettier than ideal. And there's going to be 2 screws on each side, so a total of 4 screws holding this up. Now if you find that your screw isn't staying in to your bit, chances are your bit's worn out. Get a new bit. Now that we got that done, I'm going to take the orientation of this, and you want to make sure that this is situated in an orientation where gravity and backdraft will close this. If you put it the wrong direction, what you're going to notice is this is going to flop down and it's never going to flop back up. You want to make sure this is installed where the lower part is hanging down. And get you oriented so you can see this a little bit better. What I do is put my finger on the top, put it on the back side of that lip, wrap it around and snap it in and make sure that it doesn't come off. Now the very next thing that we're going to be doing is we're going to be running the foil flex duct, 4-inch foil flex duct to the outside. And I got a little cheat trick for that because those things that get away from you if you let them go. Stay tuned. Now what we're using today is the 24-inch zip ties. Proper name for these is actually panduit straps. These can be bought from multiple places. They are the wide strap, heavy duty. They sell these at Harbor Freight, and so far I've used probably a couple thousand of these. I've had fairly good luck with them. I'm going to continue to use the Harbor Freight 24-inch zip ties until I find problems with them. I've found more problems with the smaller zip ties that they sell than these 24-inch zip ties. But a little cheat trick to handling these things so that you can work up on the ladder and you're not butterfingers dropping them. A little cheat trick to holding these zip ties while you're up on the ladder. Take them, group them all together so your points are on one end. Take your belt loops. I'm right-handed. I'm going to be pulling them out from the right-hand side. Stick it through your belt loop across the front, like so. Pull them a little bit so they're off-centered. More of the tassel or the pointed end is hanging off to your left. And as I need them, I pull them out. They stay pretty good. And I've found that to be a big help. And I think the HVAC guy taught me that trick many years ago. It works great. Now, we got our exhaust fan put in place. And about 12 inches, what we're installing is the full flex 4-inch. About 12 inches to 16 inches from the front of this exhaust fan. I'm using a half-inch NM Romex staple, and I'm putting it in a horizontal fashion. 16 inches out, and I'm going 2/3 the way up. All right, got the staple in place. Take your zip tie, drop it down so the knuckle part is toward the back. Let that zip tie hang, and every 2 foot, I'm putting a Romex staple. This is a fairly short run, so it's pretty simple. Now, when I get down to the very end of this, I like to use 2 1/2-inch Romex staples. I'm going over this joist bay, and what I like to do is put 2 of them about 3 inches apart, and I'm turning the direction that I want the zip tie to hold to. We're taking the zip tie and we're going through both of those NM staples, and we're making a loop. Now, the main reason for this is so we have wind draft coming from our soffit area. It doesn't blow that foil flex back into the room. It's secured, it'll stay there. If you don't do that on that top plate, it will blow back on you. Now we're going to hang this 4-inch flex, and what I'm using is a Panduit gun. Different companies make them. Stanley, I've got a Stanley. It's on the other service truck. This is a Hellerman Titan, and it works very efficient. And what you're going to do is take your first Panduit strap, start it together. That'll help hold it in place while you get this in position. And you want to coach this. Oh, it's being a booger today. Coach this around there and get this on. And I like to put a little extra on this in case sometime in the future somebody decides to take this fan down. They may be able to reuse this foil over. Take your Panduit strap, zip tie, wrap it around there, get it started together. You want to make sure that you're on the flat of that discharge, not crushing it out in here. So I've got my fingers pinched around it. I know where it's at. You take your Panduit gun. You're going to insert the pointed end in this direction and squeeze the handles like that. So you get it snug, push it against it, take the second lever, squeeze it, she's tight. Now, the rest of this installation, I'm not using this. It's just to tighten this against the discharge. The rest of the installation, I'm just doing it hand tight. All right, and this first one, I'm gonna grab it here, pull back, and leave a little slack. All right, we got a little slack in here. I'm going to take my cutters, side cutters, dikes, and cut the tabs off. Now going to the next one, I'm going to pull from here to here. I'm going to pull tight. Tighten up your tie, zip tie, Panduit strap. Cut that one off. Proceed until you finish to the end. Now on the very end of this, I want to make sure that I have enough going over the upper plate so it lands out in the soffit area. And I want to add to that in case your local jurisdiction wants you to put in a soffit discharge. Now right now we're in Pocomoke City, Maryland, which is Worcester County. They don't require it, but if you're doing this in a county that does require it, you're going to have to set yourself up outside after the soffit's installed and install those soffit vents at a later date. So I've got my hand mapped out on this, and I'm going to add about 14 inches. I'm going to pick a wire, I'm going to cut it, I'm going to grab it, pull it around until it breaks off, I'm going to shove this through our open end on the top plate. Tighten it up, cut it off. So this section from here to here is fairly tight and it's straight. Now I'm going to show you how to wire it up. As you can see, we got a 3-gang nail-on box. First switch coming in is going to be your vanity light. Second switch is going to be the light on the exhaust fan, and the third switch is going to be the exhaust fan itself. Now, what I'm going to use going to the vanity light is a 14-3. The vanity light is situated over here. Vanity's over here. Pan you around, you can see this a little bit. All right, vanity is going to start at the edge of the window and go to the corner. And of course, our toilet location is directly below the window. You see it right there. And our shower's behind you, but we're going to, got the holes already drilled. We're going to get 14-3 set up and get it pulled up into this exhaust fan. I've got a scrap cut of wire. See if my scrap cut of wire will make it. And when you're pulling around discharge boots, you can't see that into the, yeah, you can. When you're pulling around these discharge boots, what the HVAC guy calls supplies, you want to make sure as you're pulling the wire over that you don't chafe it on anything sharp. What I like to do is get enough slack pulled up to this to where the entrance of the power comes in on this side. We're going to pull a little slack. We're going to take our insulated Romex staples, and I'm going to staple it 1.25 inches down from the top surface of this joist in case someone puts a floor up here. That's a minimal code requirement. Now that I got that nailed, we're going to make sure we've got enough wire to hit the top of the box. I'm going to go about 12 inches past the bottom of the box. I'm going to cut it off, and I'm going to mark on that wire for trim out purposes. Later, we're going to put exhaust fan light combo. Very important. This typical application, you're only going to see 114.3 in that particular box. There's no reason in this particular bathroom to have travelers, so that's going to be the only one you see. All right, there's basically 2 ways to wire this. You can see my loop that I've got going on. We've got a hole in the back side of it, and we've got a hole in the top. They pre-punched this one out here on the Broan 678 model. So what I'm going to do is do it the easy way. There's 2 ways to do this. One is wire it from inside here, or the other is to do it through the little access door that they give you. So take out this screw, put that screw to the side, safe spot on a magnet or somewhere, and you can see they give you a hole and they give you a ground screw. Now what I like to use is a plastic pop-in bushing. There's different types. Now, this is the inside of the box, or inside the exhaust fan, and this is the outside of the exhaust fan. And they sell a bushing. These are made by I believe these are Arlington. I've got different brands. I've got Arlington. I've got Rayco, but I believe these are Arlingtons. These are inserted from inside the box. So you're going to insert that in here and snap it in. Now, these things are extremely tight, and what I like to do is pinch it right in there, give it a little pinch so that you can physically get the wire in it, because sometimes you can't. And insert the wire through here, and I like to leave about 4.5 inches hang out. Okay, and it's got the wire. That's not a problem. Take your utility knife, go about 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch down, score lightly until you get to the end, score heavy, and got your insulation jacket off, pull your paper off. Now on this particular exhaust fan, they do not have any internal groundings. Everything is grounded at this location. So what I do is pull my neutrals and hots away. I put my finger and I pinch that ground, I push it back, and I do a twist under that wire. I don't cross it over, because if you cross it over, you pinch the wire, it'll cut the ground. And I tighten the ground up, like so. And then I'll take the rest of this pigtail. You can snip it off if you want. I prefer leaving it on. Twist that and push it up to that knockout that we didn't pop out. Now on this, I'll take my my strippers and I'll pre-strip about 5/8 of an inch on each one of these, like so. And we're going to stick our finger in here. We're going to pull out 2 neutrals, 2 hots. Reach your fingers in there and pull them out. Alright, so you got a blue, a black, and 2 whites. Okay, your whites go together, and what we're using today is yellow wire nuts. Bear with me a second, I didn't pre-pull these out. There's one. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen on a video. Let me go get some. All right, we're going to take our whites, pinch them together, line them up. Lay your 14-3 beside it. Now, what I like to do is put the stranded wire ahead of the solid wire. Got them started like about 5/16 ahead. We're going to put them on, and we're going to spin that wire nut until we feel it grab a hold. Spin that wire nut. When you get done, you want to make sure that you grab each wire nut or wire individually and give it a tug. Make sure that it won't come out. Nice and tight. I'm going to take our red wire is the light wire that goes to the light inside the combination fan. We're going to set it 1/4 inch ahead of our blue. We're going to use an orange wire nut. You get that started. And then grab your stranded conductor, which is your blue, and give a tug on it. Make sure it won't come out. On the last conductor, we're going to take our black and get our black stranded started out in front of our solid black and tighten them up. Now grab the black stranded, make sure it won't come out. Now that we've got that like that, I'm going to take these wires, I want them to land in a vertical position, and I'm going to take these wires and roll them up. And make sure that none of the raw conductor is hanging out on each one of these wires, because you are putting it into a sheet metal enclosure. Now there's a groove on this top side, so I can get a better view of that. I'm going to make sure that groove right there locks in. Take your screw that you set to the side. Don't drop it. They don't call me Butterfingers for nothing. Get her snugged up. Now, with this S loop that you see right here, that will enable somebody to take this exhaust fan out in the future to be able to pull it out of the ceiling, to disconnect it, and to insert a new ceiling fan without going up in the attic. Now, this attic, if you can see it above me, it's got plenty of crawl space. It's got a pull-down staircase. This is not really a big deal to do an S-loop on this particular application, but when you're doing it between a first floor and a second floor, where you can't physically get in that ceiling, it's a real good idea to do that. I've been back to numerous houses that have requested my services to change out the exhaust fan with a new one, and the wire that was left over, me taking the old one out, wasn't adequate. I had to end up cutting beside the corner, fishing down the wall, putting in a new switch leg for a new exhaust fan that they wanted me to install. So tips and tricks of the trade: leave an S-loop. It's going to help you, and it possibly will help somebody else out in the future. Look, this is Ron Doyle with you. I hope you all thought this video was helpful and informative. And if you all like this video, please consider subscribing to my channel and crush the like button. Greatly appreciate it. You all have a wonderful, blessed day.